Hi, Mrs. Davis here. In this video, I'll be showing you how to complete and submit your laboratory assignments for Chem 151 online.
Alright, so here we are in Blackboard, and I'm under the Weekly Modules tab right now. So I'm going to look first at Week 1 and scroll down to the lab information. Click on the lab information. Alright, so first of all, every week you will have 1 or 2 laboratory assignments. After the first week, these laboratory assignments will require the use of a lab kit. But if you do not yet have your lab kit, don't worry, the very first week's assignment can be completed without the lab kit. It's going to be a worksheet. And the second week, the first half of that can be completed without the lab kit because it will be a worksheet as well. But the second half will require the lab kit. So, the first lab assignment here is Introduction to Science. This is a set of 3 different exercises, and each exercise has a worksheet which you will submit. Now, accepted formats for your lab submission: document or docx or PDF only. Do not send me any other format. If you send me another file extension, I may not be able to open it. Please do not send me a whole list of 20 different images that you've taken with your camera and just submitted, and I get a bunch of pictures of scans of your work that's upside down and sideways and all the mess. So to make it simpler, just document, docx, or PDF, where the PDF is in a document format, so you don't have a PDF scan of 5 different pages in 5 separate file formats. So if you need any technical help with that, please contact Jolt for technical assistance. But probably document or docx is what most of you guys are going to use. So every lab starts with an introduction. This introduction here link is going to show you how to do that week's lab and the background information that you will need for that week's lab. So what kind of math are you going to need to know? What kind of chemistry concepts are you going to need to know? What is a sample of the calculations? That's all going to be on this introduction page, and you must show your work in order to have credit. You can't just put down a random number and get credit for it. Most of these lab assignments are going to have some type of calculations at the end, and you need to show your work for that. If you're having trouble with the calculations and you've read through the introduction and looked at their sample calculations and still having trouble, then please send me an email. Yes, this means you cannot wait to the last second to do your lab assignment, because if the lab is due at midnight on Sunday and you send me an email asking for help at 10 p.m. on Sunday, I'm probably not going to see it before the due date. So make sure you understand the labs and how to do them well before the due date so that you can get help if you need it. So once you have read through the introduction and understand all of the material that goes along with it, you'll go back and start with the first exercise. So when you click on the exercise here, generally, now once you get to the experiments, this is going to be where it tells you how to do the experiment. But notice this is just a website. To see it in a document form that you can actually enter in your own work into, click here. So at the very bottom, click here, and you'll see the document. You must do this, especially when you're doing the actual experiments. The post-lab questions will not show up on this page. You have to click here to download these. Now this, if you have the lab kit, is straight out of your laboratory book, the lab kit book that came with your kit. So once you're here in your lab assignment here, you can edit it, you can put in your work. Now to show work, probably the easiest way is to go to Insert and Equation, and if you don't know how to use these buttons for inserting equations, you can find a million different tutorials online on YouTube to how to use the Insert Equations feature in Word, and you can type in your work right here. But for this one, just get out of here real quick. So you need to show your work, enter in your answers, save it. So make sure you go to File, Save onto your computer. So right now this is in read-only format, so make sure you switch it over to a format that you can change, you can edit save it to your computer, double check to make sure that it did save, and then go back and upload it onto Blackboard. Now for this first one, this is just a worksheet, so you're not going to have any pictures. Once you get to the experiments though, you need to have pictures to prove that you did the experiment. Pictures of the experimental setup, pictures of yourself working the experiment. You don't need to have a million pictures, but you need to have enough that I can confirm it is you, not just some stock picture you got off of the internet, and you are conducting that week's experiment, so I need to be able to see the experimental setup to confirm it is the correct experiment. And then you need to copy and paste those pictures into your document. Do not upload them separately because that ends up being difficult to download all of those separate pictures. So the best way is, let's say, for example, I want to insert a picture into this document. Copy and paste is the easiest way. So let's say I want to copy this picture of myself into Word. So just hover over the question, and this is just in your photo viewer. So you took a picture of yourself with your phone and you put it on your computer. And I'm just going to right click and I'm going to click copy. Now I'm going to go back to my document and I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste. And there I am, the picture. And then I can edit, I can make this bigger or smaller if I wanted to for some reason, and to make it fit, and I can edit more, enter, and then edit in another picture if I needed to. So make sure your pictures are at the very bottom of the document after your lab, after your answers to the questions, after all of your work shown, then have your pictures. And again, this needs to be either in document, DocumentX, or PDF format in order for me to be able to download and view it correctly. Then you'll save it, you'll go back to Blackboard here, and where it says the lab, and each lab is always due on Sundays, you're going to click on the lab assignment here, and you're going to browse your computer and attach the files. Now if there's more than one laboratory experiment, then you're going to have to attach all of the files in this one go. So you only get one submission here. So browse your computer, select your files if there's more than one, and then hit submit, and it will submit this. Then when you go to My Grades later here, you'll see that it is a pending grade, and you will not see a grade appear until I've manually graded it. So email me if you have any trouble or have any questions.